Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we have Parisa Shamlou with us, and Parisa is in residential real estate, and she basically grew up in the Bay Area. And you're now where are you, Parisa?
I reside in Temecula, California.
Okay, all right. So that's a little further south, right?
It's in Southern California, yes.
So okay, give us a little explanation of how you got from the Bay Area to the Southern California area.
So I was starting and doing real estate in the Bay Area. I was the executive assistant and office manager, realtor, and HR for a small brokerage in the Bay Area called Elite Realty Services. The founder and owner is Will Tran, great mentor. That's where I first started in my real estate career back in 2016, 2017 is when I got my license. Then I got the exposure to not only be in the back end of it, of real estate, just having to be the transaction manager. So coordinator, manager, having to audit the files and do I already was very computer literate, tech savvy. So knowing how to experience all of the different real estate software systems. So having to learn it was very quick for me. And then I would go ahead and hold trainings for the agents that we would bring on board. And then I dipped into trying out the sales side.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Bay Area, it was a lot of challenges due to there were a lot of realtors in 2017, 2018 that had their business built really well in different areas in the San Jose to Cupertino, to Los Altos Hills, and then obviously just the whole Bay Area. I guess there's Hayward, East Bay, South Bay, and because there was a lot of realtors that were booming and had their farming already grounded, it was really hard being a rookie and starting.
Yeah.
And I want to say then too, um, we didn't. I want to also just to say that at that time, I wasn't exploring to pay for leads such as Redfin. You pay for leads, and at that time as well, their their offer was just very high. Monthly membership was too expensive for me at the time. So, and then I, tried doing the postcards. I put a little bit of money into it, but something wasn't working for me. So I just thought to stay in the back end and be a transaction coordinator and compliance auditor. And
Right.
that's where I got myself to be founded by Compass as their compliance auditor, and I got to work remote, which was great. Then from being remote, I had the opportunity to move down to Southern California 2 to 3, almost 3 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
That and then from Compass, I wanted to uh explore, and jump and have different license and certifications under my belt. So I got my paralegal, went back to school, got my paralegal certificate, and worked for a company down in San Diego here. And just did that for a little while. Then I got my notary license because for this company, they wanted somebody who was also a notary. So I got my notary's night license. And then I stepped away from being a paralegal because I was super passionate in real estate. And and now I'm also going to be a soon to be mom. I'm due
Oh, wow.
with my first. I'm due January 20th.
Oh,
And
wow.
So I moved from San Diego to be with my partner. We were officially together for a year and now about to have our first baby. And he resided in Temecula. So I went from San Diego, moved up to Temecula, and now my real estate is not just San Diego area, it's Riverside, Orange County, and San Diego as being an active real estate agent.
Well, congratulations on your upcoming baby. That's very exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And started with a new brokerage here in Temecula called the Corey Home Team with eXp Realty. I just signed up with them 3.5 weeks ago, and I already got my first offer contract accepted.
That's fantastic. But I think this is a very telling situation for a lot of people that want to get into residential real estate. It is not
Mm-hmm.
always an easy connect because there are so many real estate agents out there that have already spent 20 years doing farming and they've
Mm-hmm.
established their connections and people and their network, and it's very hard to break into that sometimes. So, uh,
It is. And you have to do a lot of work, which I found that it's definitely not just handed to you. You have to invest in your business and invest in yourself. And I did. Was able to put away some money aside to build my business and make it my real estate business, not, EXP or not Compass or whatever. It's my business. And so every open house opportunity I took, I made the flyers, I made my buyer presentation, my listing presentation, I bought business cards, I bought my open house signs, everything that would give a stand out of from me to somebody who is not putting in the work or the business. I'm door knocking. Door knocking is a huge difference as well. And I want to say it's a great success. Uh, it's traditional, but it's been a huge success. I've also with this team that I holding my license with, they partnered with Zillow, so we get the Zillow leads. I haven't even jumped into that yet. I just been jumping into these open houses and door knocking, and that's how I've been gaining business so far.
no, I think that's a very key item that a lot of people don't realize. I know agents that have been in it for 30 years that are still out there knocking on doors because it is a very successful way of farming
Hmm.
your particular area. So the face-to-face always works so much better than just, an email
Oh yeah.
or a text or whatever else you might try to get a lead started. So I think that's a fantastic idea. And postcards work a little bit, I think. It's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game, but to be honest, the postcards, I'm a consumer. I always get these advertisings from the mail or postcards in the mail, and most of the time I do toss them. I put
Yeah. Oh,
them
yeah. Right.
into my recycle.
Yeah.
And I feel like the best way to actually get yourself to be seen, to be noticed, is by just talking to someone. It could be in the grocery store, in a coffee shop. You're in line for getting your flyers printed at Staples. I'm like a social butterfly, so it comes to me naturally just talk to someone. Or even if you're at an amusement park at Disneyland with your kids, like, and you are just out and about, just you're open to make connections and network. It's the best thing to do. And they see who you are, they see how your body language is, the way you speak eloquently and professionally, you're gonna be noticed.
No, I think that's a beautiful rendition of just getting out there and making yourself available. And yeah, you have your card in your pocket in case you do run into somebody and say, "Hey, give me a call if you want to talk about real estate." And off you go from there.
Yeah, it works. And then also a friend told me that when you see people like in the construction community of like a new builds, don't hesitate to go up to even people who are working in construction, hand those guys your card, or even if you see the general contractor, go up to that person and say and introduce yourself. I mean, it's all about having that face-to-face interaction. And I just feel like postcards is, in my opinion, a little waste of money. But I think face-to-face is just 100% like the sealed deal.
So are you using a CRM on top of the great face-to-face work that you're doing?
Yeah, so I have, like I said, I have my phone on my hand. So when I introduce myself and they tell me their name, hey, let me get in touch with you. Is it okay if I get your number? I put it in my phone, but realistically, I have it in my notes of my phone. It's I have an Apple phone, so it goes into like a notes folder, or just in an email. I compose a new email to myself and I write the name, the phone number, and if they give me their email, just great. But I put it into a CRM software that I use is Follow Up Boss.
Okay.
And Follow Up Boss is one of the software that I was uh, as a benefit from joining Corey Home Team, the brokerage I'm with now, eXp Realty. They also offer to you, once you join, they give you a CRM system for free, which is Bold Trail, and you get three different other software systems you can choose from, but Bold Trail, Follow Up Boss. So I got Follow Up Boss and thought it was so easy to navigate through, and it's great.
So wait a minute, are those two different ones? There's Follow-Up Boss and there's Bold Trail.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know they're both CRMs or what are they?
They're both CRMs. It's up to you which one you want to
Oh, I
choose.
see. Okay.
They both work pretty much the same, but I like Follow Up Boss because it connects you to your Zillow. And it has a lot of really cool features too, like AI can compose a text message or an email for you with whatever you had talked to this person about previously, or you just put in your notes, met this person at an open house, they were looking at this house that was at this budget, for this is their time frame they're looking for, and this was how many bedroom bath, and then it will curate the message. And when you want to send an email or a text, it will just put exactly what it is from the notes that you had provided.
Oh, wow. So
Hmm.
tell me what do you think the market looks like right now?
So I do see that it's right at the slight, like it's right now buyer's market, but it's just a slight gonna touch a seller's market later. But I do see that interest rates are dropping a little bit. And what's funny to me is that people in this day and age, in this era, I'm noticing they're really complaining about a 6%, a 7%. And what's really funny that I've came across of, some of these people that I've met through my neighborhood, I have some neighbors that are like my grandparents' age, and they've been here for 50 plus years in their home, and they said when we got our loan, we had an interest of 18-19%.
Right,
And
right.
right, and so
Yeah.
you're thinking, why are people complaining about a 6 or 7%? It shouldn't be such a big deal when it's 6 or 7%. Or yeah, if it's 8 or 9%, sure, you're like kind of fearing that to go to the double digits. I get it, but it's not as bad as it was when the people that told me 18-19% they had back in the day. So you know, I feel like it scares people when they think 8%. It's not really should be that scary, for one, because they oftentimes don't realize they have a credit card that it's at 24%.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They have a credit card at 24%. So you're like, what is you make the comparison to them, and you give them an eye opening of thinking this way, this type of, differences. It's from oranges and apples, but you'll see that it's not as bad as it used to be. And then you see that also, they're getting notifications. I'm getting notifications that we're gonna see a little bit of another cut. So
Right.
the interest rates are gonna start dropping again. And I think we're gonna go from springtime, which I also was telling my dad, next spring, 2026, is the best time to put your home up for sale, because that's gonna give him, I feel like the homes are gonna go back up in pricing, because that's when you're right before summer. Families always move right before the school year.
Right.
They want to move during the summer. They don't want to have to interfere with taking their kids out from school, or having to just step away from a lot of things happen during the school year or holidays too. People want to avoid moving during the Christmas time, which I was able to have my offer accepted, and the sellers can move after we close on January 7th, and they get the free rent back. So for a week or so. And so it's after when you get into escrow, probably during your offer is being accepted during the month of December, you still have time to, when you want to push your close of escrow date for when it's January, or, you know, within the end of January. I mean, as long as it's after holidays, people are okay with, wanting to make the move. But when you want to have your home at a really good time to sell for the best price for those sellers, to get the price they want, I feel like it's always right before summer, because it's the good weather, particularly California, because obviously that's where I reside, and California weather is great right in the springtime, summer, all seasons. So, but I think the best time people get to see the features of the home and see the just how the weather portrays the action and activity for the sell. It's always going to be great for the seller when they want to list their home in the springtime. It's just my opinion. I don't know what it is. I just think spring gets gets the home to be looked at a lot nicer, and for some reason it does. And then you get really good turnouts at the open house. That's when a lot of traffic comes in. You don't have rain. You don't have it being super windy. You don't have it being, just, it's also the time change makes a big difference too. Having the time change, it's just, I feel like these are all factors that play into having
Yeah.
to sell your home.
No, spring is fantastic. So it sounds like you're sort of predicting a pretty big spring out there for people to sell their houses, that a lot of people may be sitting on the sidelines right now waiting, and hopefully in the springtime a lot of houses will come back on the market, and the
Mm-hmm.
interest rates will be a little lower. By the way, the average interest rate over the last even 30 to 60 years has been like 6 to 7%. I think what happened
Mm-hmm.
was that post-pandemic, when interest rates were like at 3%, everybody thought, oh, well, they've got to go back to 3%. But I don't think that's going to ever happen again. So,
I don't think that's going to happen again. I think we'd probably see it come down to a low of, if you're just a conventional regular buyer, I would say maybe 4%. If you're a first time home buyer though, or you have the benefit of getting a VA loan, having to go with a Navy Federal Credit Union, they offer the 2.5% to 3%. So there are a lot of advantages when you are a first time home buyer, government assistance to down your 20% for you. Those are still good and still happening. But when you already have a portfolio, and you've already bought a home, sold a home, and so forth, I think, if you're looking to get a loan again, I think the lowest, I think 4.5. I think
yeah.
4.5, 4.6. Maybe it'll go back down to that, but I doubt that it would stay like that for a long time. I think it would just go back down just for a little while, and then we're just going to see a 5% and up.
Yeah. So what's the average price of a home in your area?
Average price is around 849,999, and we've seen in Temecula, we've seen mm, some inventory of for sale, but we're definitely noticing in Ontario area that there is a lot of distress sales that are going up for
Oh, really?
sale.
Oh, okay. Well,
And I think because of, there's been a lot of layoffs happening, and I've been noticing a lot of short sales coming up. I've been noticing pre-foreclosures. I feel like there's a replica of a 2008
oh
that's,
yeah. Okay.
it's gonna
Yeah.
it's partially happening now because there is just a humongous amount of layoffs
Oh,
that are happening. And I but I do believe that it's affecting more so, I want to say, the Bay Area, because Bay Area is the hub of a lot of tech companies.
right, right.
And I'm not seeing so much of an effect down in Southern California.
Mm.
Um, but I do see still, there are these distressed homes that are up for sale just because the sellers can't really afford to live here anymore. So they want to sell and go out of state. And then there's homes being marketed in the, I mean, like I said, the one offer that got accepted was a 3-bedroom, 2 bath. Um, it got accepted for 450, and the asking price was at 449. So it's it's and it's in the Marietta area, and this is a growing town here, is Marietta, Temecula, Menifee. We have a lot of these homes that were built 2010 and 2012, 2017. Yeah, I mean, they're still particularly newer looking homes. They're not old, but you know, the the average home price we're seeing now that these homes are going for is around 849, and we have some that are in the wineries that are around the 1.2 to 3 million dollars, and they're beautiful, beautiful homes. But I believe Southern California, we have a little bit less of what's the word I'm looking for? It's just a little bit less pricey than it is in the Bay Area. It's very
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
It's very expensive to live in the Bay Area. You get a Victorian home in downtown San Jose where there's a lot of crime, and it's a very distressed looking home, and it's for 1 million.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. I'm just thinking to myself, well, who's going to want to live in a home that needs a lot of TLC, a lot of care? You need a new roof, you need new flooring, electrical, plumbing, and that's all going to cost you, you know, another 500,000.
Right.
And the cost for construction up there and lumber, those are all higher priced than it is down here in Southern California.
So
So,
who are some of the bigger employers down in that area?
so the big name companies here in Southern California, I do uh there's a lot of like the medical companies.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
We have Abbott here.
Right.
We have Hoag, Sharp. So there's a lot of the big name medical companies down
Right.
here.
Right.
We do have, some hubs of Apple and Google. They
Right.
have some of their hubs are down here, but
Right.
Amazon too as well. But we, these are we're all the mecca of tech is based in Northern California, and we just have a lot of. I mean, my clients, many of them that I've come across are just people who either work for Google, work for Facebook, or work for Instagram, or work for LinkedIn, but they are living down here remotely, or
Right.
there's an office they go to. It's a very, one of those small office buildings. So I don't, and then there's a lot of like small businesses down here, um you know s- law firms. It's a lot of different small businesses that are down here, but in restaurants, high-end restaurants. um and that's the only, not to my knowledge, that's the only thing I know of. But and in terms of big company names, I don't really have um that
Well,
on
the
top of my
medical
head to be,
is a
but
big,
medical it is.
yeah, big deal in Southern California for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's reconvene. I want to talk to you again in the springtime after you have your baby and kind of start your whole business again. Hopefully, you could
Yeah.
join while you're working with the new baby. So,
Oh, absolutely. I would love that. That would be amazing. I know. And I honestly, having to door knock, I've gone through, it'll be 30, this is how I do it, especially when I'm in my third trimester, is I go through 30 homes, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta stop, take 20-minute break, and then go into another 30 homes, 20-minute break. And when I wasn't pregnant, I used to do 50 to 100 houses, and then take like a small 10-minute break, and then go to another 100 houses. So yeah, it's definitely kicking my butt in third trimester,
all
but
right.
I'm still hanging on. So I'll definitely
Yeah,
love to
yeah.
catch
Well,
up
that's
again.
good. You can work all the way up till the due date, probably. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I have one of my girlfriends. She just put in an offer right when she was in her hospital bed. She
Oh,
literally
wow.
would just put in an offer. So
That's hilarious.
I think I can do the same.
All right, all right. Well, we'll reconvene in the spring and see how things all are going at that point.
Sounds good. Thank
See how
you.
interest rates are doing, see how the market's doing, and all those good things. See how the
Sounds
baby's
good.
doing. Okay, great to
Thank
have
you.
you, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, sounds good.
Great.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.